Research Flow. Today, I have a Honduran guest. Her name is Elisa Guardado, and she got her bachelor's degree at Universidad Nacional de Agricultura, and currently, she's working on her master's degree at Louisiana State University. Hi, Ellie.
Hello, how are you, Uli?
I'm very happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here, and I want to tell you that I'm a big fan of your podcast.
Aw.
I always listen to the episodes, and I feel like it's a great resource for graduate students because you all discuss a lot of topics that are very important for us, and I'm sure it's very helpful to everyone out there going through graduate school.
So, thank you. Thank you for saying that. That's the purpose of this podcast, actually, to learn about everyone else's research and get to support each other because we understand what everyone else is going through these graduate programs. It doesn't really matter which department are you in, which university are you in. We share the same ups and downs and everything in between. So I'm so curious, like you're from Honduras, but where from Honduras exactly?
I'm originally from Puerto Cortés, Honduras. So Puerto Cortés is like a very small harbor city. It's not a very big city, and I think it's very nice. I like it, to be honest. Like it's very close to the beach, and there are a lot of things to do. It's super nice, and I kind of miss it sometimes, but it's a very nice place, and it has a lot of natural beauty. If you like the beach, then definitely that's your place to go.
Nice. And do you know how to swim?
I do not know how to swim. I think that's kind of like, it makes me feel a little bit embarrassed, but I definitely want to go and learn. Actually, they have a lot of good swimming lessons in Puerto Cortés for anyone who wants to learn, but I didn't prioritize learning while I was
okay.
there.
So you got your bachelor's degree from Universidad Nacional de Agricultura.
Yes.
So how was it? How did you get there? And were you always aware that food science what you really wanted to study?
Okay, so that's I think everything would start like my interest with agriculture. I guess would
okay.
start with my parents because my dad is an agricultural engineer. So he always tried to take us to the field and give us a little bit of that agriculture background. He always made sure that we had some connection with nature and plants and animals. So since a young age, for example, my brother wanted to be a veterinarian, and I kind of had like that interest for science and agriculture. But when I went to high school, at first I wanted to study, I was in between psychology and international relations, but I was not quite sure if my skills would be good for that career. But when it came time to decide, then I talked to my dad, and he told me, like, I think you have some skills that would be very valuable for studying food science. And I also learned about Universidad Nacional de Agricultura, and my brother was already there studying veterinary science. So he told me to consider it and see how I would feel about that degree. And when I got there, I felt an interest. I registered myself for the classes. Like I entered the university, and I realized that I had like those skills that would be good for that career, and I started developing a passion for food science. So it's like, I think that's how it all started, but mainly it is because of I would say like the insight that my parents provided us. Like they always told us that, like nature is very important, that agriculture is, it's like the base or the foundation for our communities. So that's how it started for us. Yes.
That's so sweet. So your parents were 100% supportive of you moving to Catacamas, Olancho, which is a whole different state, right?
Yes.
How far is it?
From Puerto Cortés, it's like 8 hours away, so it was like a long,
it's a long trip.
and a big difference too, because Catacamas is quite different to Puerto Cortés in like the landscape, you know, like there, instead of a beach, there are rivers, so there were some differences, but I really like it, and I think it opened a lot of doors for me, and I was able to meet a lot of people that have been like a significant influence in my life. So I feel like going to UNA definitely opens a lot of doors for you, and you meet a lot of people there that will make a significant impact in your life, and obviously like you develop yourself academically, and it's a good opportunity.
And how was having your brother at the same university? Like, were you guys very close, or were you trying to avoid him?
No, I wasn't trying to avoid him.
Like,
I'm
going to lunch. I don't want to see him.
I wouldn't say I would avoid him. We'll definitely like see each other because we were in different degrees. Then it was hard to see each other every single day, but we always maintained communication. And for example, when it was his birthday, we would always like go out and celebrate and do something together. So we always tried to see like how we were doing, how everything was. So we always maintain a good communication. Sometimes it would just be hard to coincide and see each other often because of school, but we would always see each other whenever we had some free time, and we always try to keep like a good communication too.
Yeah. And where is he at now?
Right now, he is studying his PhD in Canada. So he is also abroad like me. And yeah, he's doing good. I think it would be like his first year in his PhD there. So yeah, I'm wishing him the best too.
Yeah. What's his name?
His name is Fernando.
Hi, Fernando. Hopefully he can
see the podcast. Yes, of course.
So when you finished your bachelor's degree, you had some experience working, right? What were you doing?
So after my bachelor's degree, like directly that first, after graduating a few months afterwards, like I graduated in June, and in August I was already working in a school, which is something that's very different from my bachelor's degree. Like I taught in a bilingual school, and I was teaching science and biochemistry and these types of classes, but I really enjoyed the experience, even though it's not directly related. I guess you would say it's not directly related to food science. I still enjoy the process of teaching and just being able to share my knowledge with students. I think that was very life-changing. And also, like, teachers, they do a lot. Like, you don't realize at first, but teachers really do a lot for their students. And I had the experience of firsthand of putting in all of those efforts to meet your students' expectations and be able to share your knowledge. So it was good.
So when did you decide, like, okay, I want to go to the US, I want to do a master's degree, or I want to do an internship? How was that transition from working as a high school teacher and then coming to the US?
So because my brother did his master's degree in Canada, I always had like some type of interest, I would say, of like, like starting a graduate program as well. He kind of like spiked my interest when he told me about his experience. So I knew I had to go through the process of studying for the TOEFL and preparing myself. So I already started like considering that as a path for my future. I wasn't really sure how I was going to do it at first, but he always told me, like, you can start figuring out what type of master's program you want, and just like explore your options, talk to professors, contact them. So he walked me through that part. At first I wasn't sure like how I was going to do it exactly, but I did my research, I did the TOEFL, and I started preparing myself for that path. Even when I was teaching, I was already thinking about what I wanted to do in the future.
Wow, so always thinking ahead. I like that. I like that.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. And how did you get to LSU?
So to LSU, I actually found out from a friend about an internship opportunity in the nematology laboratory. So that's how I first found out about LSU, and it really like spiked my interest as well because, like I told you, I always had a connection with agriculture. And through UNAS at LSU, our student association, there are a lot of opportunities for students that really want to come here and start their master's degree programs. So I found out about the internship opportunity through a friend, and I decided to apply and definitely like take it as an opportunity to learn. And that's how I got here. And I'm very thankful. I really enjoy my experience. I came here as an intern in the nematology laboratory in the Department of Plant Pathology and Crop Physiology here at LSU. And I absolutely love my experience. It was super good. Like, I'm always so thankful to the graduate students in the lab and also the advisor, Dr. Tristan Watson, for his mentorship, because that's how I realized I really wanted to start a master's program here. And it was amazing. I love it so much. I love agriculture in general, and it was really good.
During this internship, were you tempted to switch to plant pathology, or you knew that you wanted to do food science?
Oh yeah, definitely. I did feel kind of tempted because of the great experience that I had and how I enjoyed the field work. I did enjoy it every single thing, like laboratory work and the field work as well, and the whole experience with learning about nematodes was very nice. But I also had like this big interest in food safety, so I was like in between those two. I was trying to figure out, but then I realized that because of my food science background, then I really wanted to pursue food science and food safety in general as my master's program. So that's why ultimately I decided to go through that path. But I think plant pathology in general is really nice, and if anyone is interested, like you like agriculture, then I think that's a very good field to go to.
Yeah, good. So currently you're working in your master's degree. You're soon to graduate. We are about
close.
Months for your graduation.
Close.
But tell me more. Which lab are you in? Who's your PI or your advisor? And what's your research focus?
Okay, so I'm working with Dr. Achut Adhikari. So we are working in the LSU Ag Center Food Safety Laboratory. So our lab mainly focuses on trying to target any risk or contamination related to foodborne illnesses. We do a lot of extension activities to teach field workers and companies about the importance of food safety and measures to prevent foodborne illnesses. So that is mainly our focus in the lab. We do a lot of research about foodborne pathogens and how to mitigate them. And my research mostly focuses on two things. Like, I have been working with biological soil amendments of animal origin, which is like, like raw manure, like compost treatments that are used in the soil to grow produce. But sometimes these types of amendments can also provide or be a contamination risk because they can have foodborne pathogens in them. So I work with that, and it was like we grew sweet potatoes in BSAOs, which is how we call biological soil amendments, and we were looking at how long can E. coli survive in these amendments, and as well as what effect these types of amendments had in the quality of sweet potatoes. And then I also work with creating testing different concentrations of silver nanoparticles to eliminate E. coli 0157 from the surface of sweet potatoes. So it has been I would say it has been pre-harvest and post-harvest applied research.
Wow, that is so interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really have enjoyed like working, having both field work and laboratory research. I think that has been really nice, like being able to mix the two in my own research, because I definitely wanted to do field work. I knew I wanted field work, and kind of like having both things in my project has been really nice.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions here that I can ask you, if you let me. Okay.
Of course.
So, Ellie, your research covers both soil health and food safety. How did you come to connect these two fields in your work on sweet potatoes?
Okay, so what happens with growing sweet potatoes or growing any type of produce, it really relies a lot of soil health and how the soil is, like what type of microorganisms are in the soil and what types of nutrients the soil has. So there's that connection, but also for us in food safety, like the soil can contain a numerous amount of pathogens as well. So that's when they interconnect, because soil health matters, but also we have that possibility or that risk of contamination if we are using some types of amendments. So we are looking for ways to mitigate any types of risk in the field that could cause contamination to the sweet potatoes. So I think the soil, food safety, and also the quality of the sweet potatoes or any type of produce in general is all interconnected. There has to be, there are those things you have to consider if you're growing produce in general. You have to really consider your soil, what are the risks of contamination, and also the overall quality of the produce you are going to have. So that's where they all meet.
That is very interesting. And have you had the chance to present your research in any conference?
Yes, thankfully, like I have been very fortunate to have the opportunity to present my research. Recently, I went to the IFP, which is the International Association for Food Protection. So we have an annual meeting, and the annual meeting this year was in California, in Long Beach, California, and it was a very nice opportunity because a lot of people from all over the world go to this conference and they share their research, they showcase like the latest trends in food safety. So I had a great experience with presenting my research and just talking to other people, and also getting their perspectives. For example, I met a professor that was from Canada actually, and he was from veterinary science, and he gave me the perspective, like, you know, you're working with soil amendments, so that also is related to animals, because the amendments can be, like raw manure comes from animals. So he gave me like that perspective from veterinary science, and he told me like how they were researching that there. And I met people from Japan, from different countries, and just being able to discuss our research with other people is a great opportunity. Like it really opens your mind to a lot of possibilities.
So you mentioned before that your brother is in vet school, right? So thinking about what this person told you, it's like maybe you can collaborate with your brother in the future if you guys
that would be
put
so
together
nice.
a project, right?
That's true. Yeah, I think that is another thing that that is amazing about just being in graduate school in general, is that you can really come up with your own, like you say, like come up with research projects and ideas and showcasing them to your professors or to other graduate students and see like possible collaborations with them or with different organizations too. So there are a lot of possibilities of things that you can do. The possibilities are endless, and if you set your mind into it. So I feel like there are so many things people can do in general in graduate school, like so many doors can open for you.
Yeah, I totally, yes, definitely. So your research is, of course, very interesting, and I just wonder if you were to go back to Honduras, do you think that you could continue a similar project down in Honduras?
Yes, I think that in Honduras, we really need more information about foodborne illnesses. Like a lot of people get sick in Honduras due to actually like foodborne illnesses, but they do not know how they get them. They do not know what is going on, what are the risks of contamination and everything. Like there are a lot of research gaps because there's not a lot of education that is available for people, for farmers. So I feel like I think that is still developing in Honduras, and like us that we are food safety professionals, we can really like bring our expertise to organizations, to also to people that don't have that opportunity to gain that education that they need, like trainings on food safety. So I feel like there's a lot of opportunities in Honduras to learn more about this topic.
Okay, let me see. Okay, so do you think so you mentioned that it's very important and it's also a big part of your program to do outreach, to work with local farmers. Yes. How often do you do this, and do you do it only in English, or do you have the opportunity to speak Spanish or any other language?
Oh, that's a great question because we do a lot of outreach and extension activities with our lab. So that's like a major part of the program for our lab. So we do trainings every single semester, basically, like depending on what companies contact us. Sometimes they contact us to give them trainings to their field workers. So depending on their needs, they also contact us and let us know. We also have yearly FSPCA trainings, yearly PSA trainings, which is about produce safety. So we give trainings like every single semester, I would say, and also whenever companies need them. Also, we actually do trainings in Spanish as well. So that's something really nice, like because a lot of companies, they may have also Spanish workers, and they would like to have them like get a training in their native language.
That's very nice.
We actually provide trainings to them in Spanish, and it's really nice because it's nice for us to teach them. And also we kind of feel like we're giving back to our communities in a way, because we get to talk our native language and also provide them with this education that is so necessary. So I really like that. I love extension, and the teaching part is very meaningful. It's very significant for a lot of people. So
what will you say that you gain by doing extension? And what will you say that you gain by being in the lab?
Okay, so when it comes to extension, I feel like you are giving back to people. It's just not only for yourself, but you are also like applying your skills, because you're doing something that is like going out there and teaching people, but you're also giving back to them. You're also sharing a lot of the things that you know. So I feel like both like yourself and also the people that you're helping, you are learning from them as well. You're learning like what are things that they need, what are research gaps as well, what are the things that they want to know. And just doing those things really brings a lot of meaningfulness to the whole process. I think teaching in general, like extension, is so nice because you actually get to go out there and talk to people and help the people know what they need, what are the things that they are looking for, and it's a very rewarding experience.
Yeah. Do you think that it's fair to say that you developed your soft skills?
Yes, definitely. Like if you are doing extension, you are doing a lot of things. You're learning how to teach. You're also learning how to, you're helping people directly, and it brings out a lot of you. Like you do a lot of public speaking, you do a lot of collaboration, you develop a lot of those skills by working with other people. So yeah, it opens so many doors for you in general.
So it's interesting because I'm trying to connect what you were doing before you started your program here in the U.S. So I'm thinking like, okay, you were teaching, you were like a school teacher back in Honduras, and then you are doing extension. So you were like pretty much used to be around or in front to people talking, right?
Yes.
So and somehow you were preparing yourself back in Honduras without even knowing what the future was holding for you.
Yes,
That's very interesting.
I didn't know like where the future would bring me, but I'm very happy that I can like use my own skills, like things that I have learned in the past, and use it now here in the future, and learning so much in general from other people. I feel like in university in general, when you go abroad, there are so many things that you can do, so many things that you can pursue and learn, and it's just being open for that, and it will always be a nice experience for you.
Yeah, you never know what skills you're gaining in the moment that are going to be helpful for you in the future, right?
Yeah.
So definitely you need to always be happy, and sometimes it can be difficult, the process that you're going through, but any skill that you're gaining is going to be good, and it's going to help you to improve your CV, and it's going to give you more confidence for the next step in your life. So you're from Honduras, right? Yes. Which that makes you an international student, and also from Honduras, and also an international student. So when you are an international student, we are here in the US with F1 student visa, right? So when we are about to finish our degree, it can be a bachelor's degree, it can be a master's degree, or it can be a PhD degree. When we finish this, we have the opportunity to apply for an OPT. That means optional practice training. That pretty much is a work permit so you can work in your field, because you just graduated, so you are allowed to do this if that's what you want. Other students, they just finish their master's degree and then they jump into PhD, right? You are soon to graduate. What are you planning to do next? Are you going to take a break? Are you going to work? Are you going to jump into a PhD? What's going on?
Yes, so for that, like I have been thinking, it has been like you say, like you have so many options once you are about to finish your program. Like you can decide if you want to work or apply for the OPT as an international student. That is one option. You can also continue in a PhD program. And in my case, I really want to gain like practical work experience. Like that has been something that has been in me for a long time. Like I would like to, I have gained so much educational experience and research experience here. And I also want to get like some hands-on
from the industry
experience.
Let's go to the industry.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to aim for right now. So that's why I want to apply for OPT and apply to have a position in the industry. And also always related to food safety and quality assurance, because I feel like that's my biggest passion in general in food science. Like in food science, you can do so many things. Like you can do like food safety like I am. You can do food engineering. You can do sensory analysis. You can do product development. And I feel like I want to continue in the path of food safety, and would like to gain some like hands-on experience in the industry like that. So that's what I'm aiming for.
Good. Good luck with that. But so just help me to understand, and anyone who is listening to this episode. So okay, so you need to do the OPT. So what do you do first? Do you apply for the OPT because there is paperwork involved, or do you go and try to find the job first?
So what happens with this is that the permit is something that your university helps you to get. Like the whole process is through international services within your university. So the recommended thing to do is to already start looking for jobs early on. Like if you know you are going to graduate in one semester, then appropriately, you should start looking for job positions, maybe even possibly a semester beforehand, so you have options. Because there's once you are about to graduate, then you also have that timeline to apply for your OPT, and it all happens in the same semester. Like in the same semester that you're going to graduate, you can already apply for your OPT, and you also need to already think about when would you start working and what job position you're aiming for. So it's a lot of things that you have to consider, and that timeline might be like a little time crunch. So I would recommend like anyone who, even like for example the PhD students who want to go to industry or are looking already for jobs, then to consider looking for jobs beforehand, so you have your options lined up before applying to your OPT.
So, okay, Ellie, you have to find a job, you have to complete your application for the OPT, you need to write your thesis, and you need to defend your thesis. That is a lot.
It is, yeah, it feels like a lot, for sure.
How do you balance? How do you do this? I know you're doing amazing, definitely, I know you, but how difficult it is to keep a balance and stay focused and don't drive yourself crazy.
Thank you so much, because I feel like whoever knows me knows, like you say, like the things I have been going through and how trying to balance everything out and the whole process. But I would say, like I mentioned before, the earlier you start planning and figuring out what you want, the better it will be for you. Like try to plan ahead and also focus on making deadlines for yourself, because sometimes it's very easy to get caught up with so many things, like you said before. So it is very important to set like realistic timelines for yourself, and also like find time also for, like we said before, like also self-care. Like it's important to have time for yourself in between all of this. Like it is the last semester, and we have to defend our thesis, we have to write, and we have to apply for jobs as well. So the importance of planning ahead really matters here. Like the earlier you start applying to jobs, the better it will be for you. And in general, also like find time for yourself, for your friends, for your family, and also for the things you really like to do in between all of this, because that will really help you keep you sane in between all of those things that you are doing. So I think that for me, that has been a big part, like setting realistic timelines for myself. That has been a big part.
So how is the job searching going? And I'm so curious, when you do the interviews, how different it is to do an interview for a graduate program comparing to actually like a job position, like in the industry in this case? How different is that?
Yes, in the industry, I will tell you that I actually encourage anyone to that is actually thinking about industry to apply, like I said before, apply early, and also to not feel scared about going to interviews, because I feel like a lot of these companies and a lot of people that are looking to fill in these positions, they see something great in you. Since the first moment they invite you to an interview, they see a great potential in you. So one of the things that I would say is different when you're interviewing for a graduate program and also for industry, I think for graduate programs, they really focus a lot on your research experiences and those types of skill sets that you can apply to research. And companies, they may be also interested in your research experiences, but they will also ask you about technical knowledge, things that you like, skills that you can apply in the job position. So you kind of have to expand yourself a little bit and try to, for example, if you are a graduate student and you have had a lot of laboratory experience, try to relate that to the job position, and they will be like very happy to hear how you can apply those skills in the workplace. So I would say like they are very interested in your experience in general, and even if you maybe have not had any industry experience before, that's not an issue. They are very open to hearing about your skills in general and what you can bring to the table as another person that will be entering the workforce. What are the things that you have gained from your graduate program that you can apply to the workplace?
Yeah. So when you do the internship, do they ask you, or do you tell them like, hey, I'm actually waiting on my OPT? How is that conversation?
Yeah, so I have been very honest with them, for example, that I'm an international student, and they also ask me, they tend to ask you, they know you are an international, so they might be concerned about visa sponsorships and things like that. So what I have experienced is that they are, depending on the company, of course, but I have had very positive experiences when I have told them that I am going to apply to OPT through my university and that I'm looking to gain that work experience. They are very open about that, at least in the experience that I have had so far. So I think it's very important to be very honest about the whole OPT process. I tell them that you are planning to apply to OPT and that also a requirement for OPT is that you're going to apply your skills to a job related to your career or to your degree. So for example, if I'm in food science, then I can only use my OPT for a work related to food science. So that's a very important thing. And they will be, I think if they will be very open about that. They will be good about it if you are, of course, telling them all the information that they need to know. Because the OPT process is not only directly like, it is not only directly through the company. No, it's not like that. It is through your university, but it has to be related to your field and your degree. So you have to let them know that.
Okay, it makes sense. Your OPT, once it's approved, for how many years is valid?
So that information, like for us that we're in STEM, we can actually extend it and get it for it will be up to 3 years if I'm not wrong. So for STEM, that would be the timeline. But I know that for people that are not in STEM, I'm not quite sure if it's just for 2 years. I'm not really sure about that for how it would be for people that are not in STEM. But it depends if whether you are in STEM or not, and how long you can extend your OPT depends on that timeline.
So when you get your OPT, is that directly connect to this company, or let's say that you get the OPT and then after 1 year you find another company? Can you go to other company, or is that possible?
I think it is possible because sometimes it can happen that people terminate their jobs and while they are in OPT and they have to find a new job. So it is possible as far as I know. I haven't had like true like hands-on experience on it yet, so I cannot tell you like the whole process in that sense for sure. But I know that it happens and people can in that case, for example, if they terminate a contract with a company, that they can move on to another one. So they would have to update that process through their OPT because it's a whole process that they have to do also with the immigration service. So they have to make sure they are providing information. If they're changing jobs, then they would have to provide the information on the new company and all of that.
And let's say that once you got your OPT, you apply for this job position, right? Do you think do you recommend, based on your own experience, once you're talking during your interview, to talk about the future sponsor for your H1 visa? Like once your OPT ends, how important is to bring this conversation? What is going to happen after my OPT is over? Are you guys am I going to be able to switch to a work visa with you? Or how do you do that?
Also, that's another thing to consider through the whole process. Like I said before, like there are some there's a database for international students that they can use to know which companies do offer a sponsorship. Like you can be very clear when you go to interviews as well that you're interested in a company that does that. I know that not a lot of companies do that, so you kind of have to be flexible at first with your OPT as well and see which opportunity is convenient for you at the moment. But it's also good to see if you're aiming for a company that will offer you a work visa, to look through that and investigate which companies or organizations can provide you with that. So you have to do a research, like your own research on the company and whether they do or not sponsor visas, and also it's something that you can address in your interviews as well. I know that it can be a very touchy subject, so I recommend that you do your research as well, and also like consider if that's something that you're looking for, or if you are looking for firstly like getting your OPT and getting that work experience, and then maybe like once you are about to finish it, then apply to a company that will sponsor your visa. But or I will say like all of those things you have to consider and do your research beforehand, just to be prepared.
Ooh, yeah, there are so many things that you need to be aware about. You know, applying for
About
OPT,
the future, yes.
staying in your job, switching visa, getting a new sponsor because when we're talking about a sponsor visa, we are talking about the H1 visa, right?
Yeah,
or
that's
H2?
H1.
H1 visa, right?
So that would be it's a different process.
Another paperwork
and it goes through the company directly.
So that,
so like it's something that you do with your company.
So once you apply for the work visa, you don't have anything else to do with the university, right? You are on your own.
Yeah, that would be different.
For the H1 visa.
That's something that you do with your company. Like OPT, you do it alongside the international services of your university, because basically the OPT is an option for getting training after you graduated. But once for your work visa, you're working directly, you're actually going through the process through your company.
Yeah, I just want to mention that this is her experience. This is not any legal advice to anyone there. This is just what's going on in her life at the moment, right?
Yes.
But if you want to be more, how can I say, if you want a better explanation and guidance, you can always go to the international
services in your university.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially for OPT, like the people that are going to walk you through the process are the people that are in international services. Like every university here in the United States has that department, and they will be able to help you with how the OPT process is. For example, here at LSU, they even have a whole Moodle course where they explain to you the timelines, what things you have to do, what is allowed, what is not allowed, what documents you need. So I would say, like, if you have any doubts or things that you are asking yourself, then you should definitely like go ahead and contact the international services within your university.
So are you applying for the OPT? Have you submitted the application as of today?
As of today, I haven't finished completing like my application. I'm going through the process, like already gathering the documents and completing the Moodle course to LSU International Services, like I said, but I haven't sent my application yet.
Okay, it's okay. You still have like 2 weeks. I'm kidding.
There's still some time, but also keep in mind the earliest date that you can apply and the latest date that you can apply, because the earliest date, for example, for us is September 21st, if I'm not wrong. So
last week.
So since then, that we can already start applying.
Oh, okay.
That is the earliest date that you can use to apply. So that way you'll, like right now, if you're an international student that is going through this process like me, then you can already start with preparing your documents for that, and also contacting international services for your OPT process. So you can already start if you are here.
Do it, guys. So what in the worst case scenario, I get the work permit, but I don't get the job?
Oh yeah, like those are things that you have to consider beforehand, because you have like a certain starting date for your OPT that you have to keep in mind for the whole process. So that's why it's so necessary to prepare beforehand, like start applying to jobs as earliest as you can, because you will have that starting date, and you would have a job that is secure for you, because if not, then you would have to look for options, and that can be maybe a challenge if you don't have a lot of time.
While applying for work and also working on getting the paperwork together for OPT, how stressful is the waiting or the uncertainty of this? How do you deal with this?
I feel like in general, because we're sometimes so busy, like it kind of keeps our mind off a lot of things. But in general, I feel like it can be stressful, but also you have to trust the process and be sure that if you are doing all the things right, then there's no reason why they won't work out. So just make sure, like I said before, that if you're going through these processes, you plan ahead, you contact companies or apply to jobs with enough time, so you are doing something that is good for you and you are doing what's best for yourself. So I would say, like, keep in mind all of those things. Like, there's time is very valuable, and sometimes it is one of the things that kind of slips away from us. So if you make good use of your time, and it will keep you from feeling too stressed as well.
What is the exciting part of what's happening to you right now? What are you so, I don't know if you're anxious or excited about transitioning from a student to a professional life? How do you feel about it? What do you have any expectations?
Yes, for me, because I really want to get that hands-on experience in the industry, I feel excited about that part, because I feel like it will be like opening a whole world to opening up to new possibilities in that sense. So I'm very excited, and I know it will be a good experience. I'm very open to learning, like companies or industry in general, or whatever you want for your future. Just being very open to the process, being open to learning makes a big difference in how you're going to feel about it. Obviously, like, new chapters can always make us nervous or scared, but I also believe that you can trust the process and feel excited. That it's good to feel excited about the future as well, and feel hopeful that things are going to go your way, things are going to go well. Just keep a positive mind, and also, like, give time for yourself, get time for yourself in the whole process, so you can actually enjoy the moment too. Like, this is the last semester, so I'm sure there are many things that a lot of people want to do with their friends, like go to football games, like go also enjoy those little things that are also important in the process.
Great. And how do you just say, you're saying about going out, going to a football game, for example, how do you have fun with your friends?
I feel like in general, I just enjoy spending time with my friends, like just being able, like, talking, going out, doing fun things together. I feel like that really helps me a lot to clear my mind, and also gain other people's perspective, because sometimes, like, we only focus on maybe we only focus on the things that are going on in our mind, but maybe we don't see the whole big picture. And just talking to other people can give you a whole perspective. Maybe you're going through something really hard, but you have your friends, and they can give you another perspective on how to go through those problems.
Or you can cry together.
You can cry together. Yeah, you can, or you
we
can.
have done it.
Yeah, we all have cried together. Yeah, that's very nice, and just having like that support system because your friends are, especially in graduate school, your friends really like make
They
a big
understand.
difference for
Yeah.
us, and yeah, that's really nice. Like having that support system will really help you go through whatever challenges you are experimenting with at the moment.
Correct. So Ellie, your graduation is coming soon, in less than 3 months, right?
Yeah, around that time.
Around your
Yeah.
time. Is your mom coming? Is your dad coming? Your brother? Who's coming to celebrate that big day with you? Because I'm going to be there.
Yeah, so definitely like I'm very excited about that because my mom would be coming and my brother as well.
Your brother from Canada.
Yeah, he has never been here, so I think it would be nice to have him here and experience a little bit of LSU. Yeah, a little bit of the South of the United States. I think it would be a nice experience for him. And I'm excited to share that moment with family and friends.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm so excited. Are you going to invite me?
Of course, of course. You have like a special invitation
Thank
already.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be there definitely. What is your, as of today, what is a very special memory that you keep close to your heart in these 2 years in graduate school?
Wow, I feel like it's very hard to pinpoint one right now because I had a lot of special moments. I think, obviously, like, for example, when it comes to research, when you're seeing that your project is coming up really well and you're getting the data that you are aiming for, that's very rewarding. But also, there's a lot of happiness in just sharing moments with friends and with colleagues in general. Oh my God, I feel like for me it would be too hard to
Just
pinpoint
one?
on one because I have had a lot of nice experiences in general. So I don't think I can pick one, but
It's okay.
definitely like in general, like I've had a very positive experience all the way. And I'm very thankful for everything and for all the people I have met here. So it's hard to just choose one.
I'm trying to remember when we met. Like, I don't really remember. But it doesn't matter because this friendship is forever.
Exactly. Yes, it has been really nice, like meeting you and meeting a lot of people that have had like this significant impact in my life,
Oh.
like very significant friendships. So I think for, like I said before, for graduate students or students in general, like friendships play a big part in how you feel and how you like even like go through challenges because if you have other people around you and you go through things together, you are going to be stronger and you
Yeah.
will be able to go through things in a better way. So, yes.
I agree. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you know this by now. So in this podcast,
I'm a fan of the podcast, so I
Yes,
know,
I know.
what's coming up.
What is coming up? Tell me.
So I think we might discuss like a Reddit question, right? Like,
Yes, we're doing
Uh-huh.
that. Do you wanna read for us?
yes, so
Okay.
here we have a question that says, getting a job after college as a food science and technology major. So someone in Reddit is asking this. Hey guys, I'm a third year college student majoring in food science and technology. I've been living here in the US since 2015, but I do not have a green card yet. So starting next year, I would be considered an international student. My dad and I were talking and he told me to do some research about how easy or hard it is to get a job as a food science major who is also an international student. He was concerned that jobs wouldn't be interested in offering an H-1 visa to someone willing to work in the food science field. Hearing this got me all nervous because I hadn't even considered this problem before. I don't even know if I want to work in the United States after my degree. I plan on working abroad, but I would still like to keep my options available. Does anyone know if international food science students get job offers after college here in the US? If yes, how hard it is? Finally, what can I do in my last 2 years of college to increase my chances of getting a job? Thank you. All right, so he has 2 questions right there. The first one is, does anyone know if international students can get job offers?
The question is 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Yes, they can. Yeah, of course they can. And also, like I said before, there are a lot of resources for people that are international and they are looking for H1 sponsorship. Like there are companies that do sponsor, and they have a data source, like a database online. Also, there are a lot of organizations that help with networking, like if you go to conferences, or if you're also a member of the Institute of Food Technologies, or a member of IFP, the Association for Food Protection. They have a lot of mentorship programs for students that can help you with meeting more people, or even attending these conferences can help you with networking and seeing which companies you can apply for or what career path you want. Another thing is that I think that people can do to increase their chances is applying to internships. Like if you're still a student, definitely go apply to an internship. There are a lot of companies like Cargill. I know for us in food science, Cargill, Arden Mills, a lot of companies like that offer internships for international students as well. So that's one of the options that you have if like he is saying that he is still a student, then to amp up those chances of getting a job, they can do an internship, apply for an internship program during the summer, for example, and they can increase their chances of being employed. So internships are a very good experience. I would recommend anyone to apply for an internship if they can, if they're still a student.
Yeah, so something that is also very important to mention when you apply for, something that is very important to mention is if you want to apply for an internship and you are an international student, you also have to do a paperwork. The only difference is that the CPT is designed for you to do an internship while you are still a student. And the paperwork is in the university. So you only need to, of course, communicate with International Student Services Department or offices in your university, and they will tell you exactly what the process is. So to my understanding, the CPT is a work permit that allow you to work outside campus. And then if you want to work once you finish your degree, as we have been talking this whole episode, that is called OPT. So you need to keep that in mind.
That's
you can
correct.
do CPT while you're a student, and you can do OPT once you're finished with your degree, right?
That's correct, yes. So that's another thing to consider. If you're doing an internship program, then again, you would, like you said, you would have to contact the people from your international services in your university, so you can apply to CPT now, and then once if you want to work, then you would, after you graduate, then you can do OPT. But you have, it's something that you do with your with international services, and they have a lot of information, and they have people that can help you with the whole process. But in general, like if you're still a student, I would recommend that you apply to internships. That will really develop your skills and give you a whole idea also of how it is to work in industry, for example, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, in my personal experience, when I was doing my master's degree, I did an internship because I wasn't really sure. Of course, you have different reasons why you want to do an internship, right? In my case, when I did my internship, I had to apply for the CPT, so I did it at my previous university, Eastern Illinois University. So my experience was like I needed to have an offer for the internship, and I needed to talk to my advisor at the moment, and he needed to give me an authorization. So I needed to take all these documents to the international office at my previous university, and then they will update my I-20, and they will write in the back that I was allowed to work this specific amount of hours at this specific location. In my case, I did my internship at LSU, because I wanted to see if I knew that I wanted to continue with my PhD, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do research more focused in agriculture or if I wanted to go like in conservation. So I did my internship in plant pathology department, and I had an amazing experience.
That's great.
I was under Dr. Sarah Thomas Sharma, but then at the end I was like, I love it, I learned a lot, but my heart is with conservation, and I want to be in the biology department. That's what I'm doing right now. What I'm trying to say with this is that you are the only one who really knows why you want to do an internship, and it's okay. It's okay, right? So yeah, any other comment for this person?
I would just tell them that do their research and also make sure to check on what they want. Also, like they must know for sure that as for food science majors, there are a lot of options. There are a lot of companies that do sponsor visas, and also there are a lot of internship opportunities, like a lot.
Yeah.
So they just need to do their research, like look for internship options over the summer since they are still student, and they can take advantage of that resource to make themselves like add more special things and more great things to their CV. So I would say that they are in the correct path if they are going to apply for food science and going to be a food science student. There are endless possibilities.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I'm so happy that you agree on doing this.
Thank you so much. I love it. I'm very happy because, like I said before, I'm a fan. Like I always listen to the podcast, and been finally being able to share my experiences through this. This great space is amazing. I feel so fortunate to be able to be here, and I'm hopeful that this will be useful or helpful to someone out there.
Yeah, and I just want to tell you something, guys. Ellie and we were talking, and I invited her to be a co-host in the podcast. So probably, who knows, maybe in the future episodes you can be here, we can be hosting together.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I love it so much. Like I said before, I think that this is a great idea and a great initiative to like help students out there, or in general people that are still thinking about going to graduate school, so they can have as much resources and information and like real experiences from real students. So I think this is a great way to show them how everything is and how everything is done here. So thank you so much.
Of course. So before we close, is there anything that you want to tell to anyone who is interested about coming to the US and do a master's degree or PhD program in food science?
Yeah, I would recommend them to, like I said, know what they want. Like food science is very broad, so there are different types of things that you can do. You can do food engineering, you can do food safety, you can do many things. So make sure that you do your own research, know yourself, get time to think about what you want and what field you want to go to, and also look up universities, how are their programs, what courses they offer, and then you can start like looking for the requirements that they have for their graduate programs, their TOEFL, their documents that they need. So really do your research and always consider what makes you passionate as well. Do what ignites your passion when it comes to your future.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being with us today. I had a really, really fun time learning more about my friend Ellie.
Thank you.
Yes, please remember to follow, share, and don't forget that we are building this community where we can learn about each other, learn what's going on with our friends' research, and just trying to understand, like, this is a very interesting time of our life, and we are here to share and learn everything, all the ups and downs about this journey called academia. Thank you guys, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.